I've started the recording. Go ahead, Lenny.
So we are exploring on that front how to integrate it into our documentation because uh, there are challenges implementing it in hardware documentation comparatively to software documentation, and our obviously our organization doesn't allow us to use ChatGPT and OpenAI tools that are available in market these days. So we also have the internal AI tools and the Copilot that comes with Microsoft itself. So with Copilot, we are very limited in the usage. Like we are keeping it strictly for the meetings, as you said. But I have started using it for the project management perspective, and it has given me impressive results because so we do planning in Microsoft Project Professional, but I found that when we are doing it with Copilot, the results are impressive, quite impressive. This is about the organizational thing. But yes, our CEO and the upper leadership team or the upper management team, they are all very inclined towards AI. But then again, every company or every organization is doing the testing of the AI model, how they want to go about it. We also there are some plans of using it in the documentation, but then for the startup or the kickoff, everybody has been asked to do some internal trainings, which are all already there on the Infineon's website. So we were asked to, at least go through the basics of that. And for the advanced or intermediate purpose, they have opened the AI classroom. That is a residential cohort or summit that is happening in Munich as well, and in I think they are starting in Bangalore as well, somewhere in Q2. But everybody has been asked to explore on AI how to use it. So this is what Infineon is doing and what vision they have. But personally, I have explored this AI thing and the tools that we have today. At least I tried Claude, I tried ChatGPT, and I tried Copilot as well for API documentation. And I found that as a first draft, it is giving pretty much quite, I was quite impressed with the output actually. The first draft that I got was something that I was impressed. But then again, as you are using the models and the LLMs, you are finding that the tone that is coming out of the documents, it is getting more robotic. So this is a whole new discussion that the people who are using, at least I know few folks, few senior folks who who are using this in their organization, and they also said the same thing that when they tried you implementing all of this in their documentation, the documents they are getting, they are sounding very robotic. So they still need human intervention or the task force that will review those documents and then probably fine tune the language. So this is the initial setup or the initial model that we have with GPT. 5 years or 10 years down the line, I think that GPT models will be much advanced, and even then we won't be able to we won't have to have this additional task force then. But right now, for the first draft, I would say yes, it is giving pretty much the impressive results. But then still, human intervention is required. But as a fresher who is completely new into technical writing, it is giving quite impressive results. And even I have tried uploading the template that we already have of our company and supplied it to ChatGPT, and it is giving pretty much impressive results. And in terms of editing as well, it is reducing the dependency on the editors. You can fine tune it yourself. So yes. Now the key thing over here is how to upskill as a technical writer in this AI, with this AI coming over. What I have realized is that while working with all these models that we have, that if you are getting the prompts right, the desired outcome, you'll get the desired outcome. So there are permutations and combinations that go into the prompts that we supply to these chat GPT or perplexity or claude. So if you are able to get that prompt right, you will be able to get the desired result. Now again, how to get the prompt right? There are series of courses available online. There is course on Coursera specifically for the prompting. What should be the prompts for the technical writers? They are running the course, and then again, the companies that have adopted to this model also have created the prompts, specific prompts, and they are uploading it on their internal libraries. So it's the game of prompts basically. uh the second thing, which I think is the most fundamental, and everybody should be aware of this, or I think the basics will also be good enough. We say that no coding is required, but I will actually go by the thing that coding is required. If you have basic understanding of coding, what is going behind the LLMs or RAG, or even the NLP, then you are able to get the prompts also right. So for this, I think the basics of machine learning and the deep learning would be the key. At least if you want to, understand how the Chat GPT model is working, because they are basically the same. And if you have the basic understanding, or even the intermediate kind of understanding with basics of Python, then I think that you will be able to crack this, or at least this is what is required. Because some companies, they like I was going through the JDs actually of the companies, and believe me, now the trend is that they do require programming. They do require technical writers to know programming as well. And by programming, I mean that the basic is Python. And in all these models, Python is a plus. So if anybody knows the basics of Python, they are able to crack this or anything. Because we are talking about API documentation, so specifically for API documentation, it's not mandatory again to know the programming. But if you are aware of how the code is working, or even if you know any of the programming language, you will be able to write better documentation. This is what my personal views are on this. And the third thing is that, which I identified, or which I am doing these days, is that I have formulated the training plan, curated the plan. So in that plan, there has to be one Gen AI thing in it, which is this the Chat GPT. Then is the LLM has to be there, LLM workflow or RAG, any course or any video with that. Third thing is docs as code should be there. It's not mandatory, but then if you are aware of docs as code, then it's good for you, because in most of the organizations these days in JDs, they have mentioned docs as code explicitly. So if you are aware of docs as code, then it's a plus for you. Fourth thing is, and which again it's an optional, but if you are aware of this fourth thing, then it's like it's again a plus for you, or a boomer for this, which is like if you are aware of Sphinx or Docusaurus, then you can build your own documentation website, and host it and have all the AI thing over there. So that will serve as a portfolio for you. You can provide it as a link to everybody where you are applying. So that can be considered as a portfolio. This is what I figured out, and at least this is what my views are. And then I tested the results with Claude and the other tools. Basically, what I did was the prompt that I gave was that there's this bookshop, and I want to retrieve the results of books in that bookshop. So I supplied that I want in the documentation, I want sample usage, query parameters, um, overview of the API, error codes. And I told that now document this for me. And the first draft it gave was pretty much impressive. I was impressed with the first draft. And when I compared it with the normal draft, it was I with little fine tuning, it would have been the good one, but in the normal first draft was pretty much impressive. This is what I found.
Perfect, Rennie. Thanks for kick-starting and sharing your info. So,
Thank you so
anyone
much.
else want to contribute here?
So, Rahul sir, two things from my side. Right? So, right in HP right now we are not using any external tool though. But in Geo when I was there, okay. So we created some agents like on chatbot, like chat GPT. Okay, we trained it, and I'll say one thing: if there is any structured document that we are using, okay, for that the chat GPT gives, or for that sake, even if you are using cloud, they do give really good results. Okay, and so I was able to create a lot of feature documentation, like the initial draft of the feature documentation based on that one. And as Rajni mentioned, it all boils down to the prompt that you use. So usually, and so like before leaving that organization, I created a prompt library for them. And the overall structure that revolves around prompts is basically that if you are able to give the your gtp information, the background information or the context, okay, what kind of audience you are looking at, what are the result that you want, what are the constant that needs to be applied. So it is just, you just treat that as a kind of intern, okay, and you have to just supply all the background information that you want. Okay, after that, when you like generate the document, it would be a really good document. Okay, and yeah, and then you just need to keep training that particular agent. So like at least in chat gpt it is very easy to create an agent. You just use md file, put all the instruction there, and just create agent based on that one, and then just keep training it on the documentation set. Okay, and after maybe if you have trained it for maybe a week or so, the output that you get is like almost like 80% ready. All you need to do is just have a look at it, change few things, basically like the tonality. I'm not very keen on the tonality of the output that we get. So just need to fine tune those things. Okay, and in doing all those things, so what I realized is so AI tools are going to come in a lot heavier onto us, and that is going to be the reality for sure. Okay, the only thing that is going to like help a writer would be how much they know the tool, and how what do you say, how confident they are in using the tools. Okay, and apart from that, how good are they in their own craft. So if you are good in your own craft, right, then you would be able to know, okay, what kind of output the your AI tool is giving you, and what are the changes that you need to make, or what are the prompt that you have to ask the AI tool to fine tune that particular document. And okay, so that's one part of it. Second part is that for documents like your solution descriptions, okay, There I have not found AI tool to be very useful. Okay, anywhere where you are able to supply, like and especially this thing, and for API documentation, the tools are really good. Like they are just super because they can just go into the code. Okay, and from there they can create the complete map of how the APIs are being called, what are the results that they are going to produce, and everything, because all is baked into your code. So it is very easy for the tool to give you very good API documentation. And so that would be on the first point. Second would be if you are writing a troubleshooting guide, that there also the tools are API, like these AI tools are really good. And so that is my personal experience on these 2 points. Feature description, they are good, but still you need to like work on your own on the output that they generate. For an initial draft, I think they save a lot of time, because I use that a lot in the geo. And a solution description, they are not good. That is where you have to put your own mind. And yeah, so till now I have used your chat gpt and cloud. Gemini I have not preferred to use much because I did not like the output of that particular tool too much. Maybe the latest ones that are coming in, I have not used them. I have to check those things. uh, yeah. And for anyone who is starting on the writing front, I'll say concentrate a lot on your craft. Because what happens is, okay, once you get too hooked on the AI tools, you won't be able to focus on your own writing styles, or your own grammar, or how you're going to deal with the things when the AI is not giving the proper results. So like even in the previous organization also, for the interns I definitely told them, do not use AI tool to create your draft, initial draft. Write it on your own, then supply it to the AI tool and see what are the how it is writing, and compare it to your own, and see where you are good at, where AI is good at, and just learn from that thing, so that you are able to build your base. Otherwise, what is happening, if somebody is very new and they are just going through the AI tool, they won't be able to build their base, and that will become an issue for them over a longer period of time. For those who are senior, like 10 plus, for them it is not an issue because they have already built the base. They just need to use that tool. And anyhow, those who are like 10 plus, right, they are not doing the active writing. They are more or less mentoring the team, or they are enabling the others to complete their things, right? So that is where it is really good for them. For the entry level, I'll still say work on your own craft. Use it as an enabler, but not get dependent on that particular tool. So that's my take there.
So, Hemant, I have a question over here.
Mhm.
You said that .md file is there. So, this .md is the markdown file or
No,
something
no, no.
else which is used for training?
So dot md is your where you just put all the instructions, okay, that you
Mm-hmm.
want that GTP to follow. Okay, and using
Okay.
that you can create an agent. This is specifically for your chat GPT. Okay, you can
Okay.
create the agent. Every time you are going to ask a question to that agent, it will go to that file, see all the like rules that you have created for it. Based on that rule, it is going to give you the output.
So, it's like .md has the series of prompts, right?
uh
Uh,
Kind
it
of, yes.
contains. Okay.
Mm, yeah, it
So
will have.
by
Mhm.
prompts like by prompts I mean that there will be questions and there will be responses as well. Is it
No, no,
like?
no, not like that. So it will have that. So you have to just clarify what you want that agent to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I maybe I'll try to supply you one of that file. Okay, you just go through it. Okay,
Yeah.
that would be nice. Because it is more like you just need to specify that. Okay, uh, what you want that agent to do. Just write in
Mm-hmm.
plain English. absolutely fine. Okay, just plain English. Give all the context that you want that agent to follow. All the context, all the constant, everything. Put it there. Like how you are going to create a prompt, right?
Right.
A detailed prompt. So in the same way, you put all that information in that same MD file and use it to create your agent. And then next time, as soon as you are going to supply any input to that agent, it will just generate you the answer. You don't have to write that, okay, do this thing for me. You don't have to do.
Okay.
And the like the benefit of creating an agent is that it will keep learning from the output that is it is generating.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, if, for example, if I have already .md file which I have created, right? So, if in case we are training it, so there will be the training one that I am doing on my agent, and then there will be training two. So, if I have trained that agent first, and
Mhm.
so those results will also be uploaded in this file, or that will be uploaded in a different file.
You can upload it in the same file.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Because
for
till now I have used only one file. I have keep modifying it. I have not
Mhm.
used two MD files to create the agent.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But
And
I'll
just
say
to
it's
add,
better that you add everything in that same file. Easy for the agent to access.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So I would like to listen from others also.
one small clarification.
Yeah,
So, me
Mazhar.
and Hemant and everybody. So, this markdown, there is nothing special about markdown. MD is markdown, Rini. You were right. It is just another format, just like .doc or .excel or whatever it is, .pdf. .md is now more like most widely used format. It's just plain text with a little bit of styling. It just has some little bit of styling for headings, for a table, and so on. Otherwise, it is just pure text. There is nothing. There's nothing really, special in the content of a markdown. So any text file, if you open it even in Notepad or Notepad++, just to make it more readable, you can, style it a little bit and make it a markdown. It just so happens that a lot of these ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, all of them, they spit out markdown as their default format instead of text, because they add the style so that it looks nice for you on UI. And they also are fine-tuned to all of them by default. They like to read markdown compared to reading PDFs and docs. Especially, let's say there is a technical report in PDF or in .doc, which has a lot of graphs, charts, and text mixed. They usually make a lot of mistakes when they read it from, when they skip text, they skip sections of text while reading PDF, and so on and so forth. These are all mistakes that these AIs do. So there are jobs that I am actually getting to see where I apply to one of them. The ask was simply to take existing PDFs and docs, convert it to Markdown, and make it easily ingestible by AI. Basically, all they're trying to do is it looks like everybody has come to an understanding that these AI tools like Markdown. Therefore, whatever content you have and you want to make it indexable and searchable and easily available to the rest of the world, you convert it to Markdown and supply it as knowledge to these AIs, so that from there they will take it forward. So in this case, in the case of this prompt, which Hemant was talking about, it is he could have had the prompt in text also. It would have worked. It would have worked the same. I think it won't make any difference at all. But let's say you give that prompt to AI, and then you say, "Please show me the prompt again." It will show it back to you in Markdown format, so that you can download it, save it as a file, and you can share it with others. You can load it to you can upload it to a common prompt library. You can take it to another AI. It's just that it looks better styled. Other than that, I don't believe there is anything special in this MD file that is he's created. But the logic he has put inside it, that is valid. Whatever details he has put in the prompt, that is important. But the MD, I think, is okay. I think you could have used text also. You can copy paste from anywhere. You can use even a Word doc. You can even write the prompt in a Word doc or a PDF and you can supply it. It will take any of those formats. It's just that they're all used to reading Markdown these days, that they're preferring Markdown both as input and output of choice. Yeah. Okay. That's all I wanted to add. Thanks.
But you know what? I tried this with Chat GPT that I supplied the PDF file as an input, and that PDF file contained the mix of bar charts, pie charts, and the text.
Yeah.
And the prompt I gave was that like I to you know to to document this to just tell me what is how you'll be able to decrypt this information. So the result that I got was very impressive.
Okay. No, they
Like,
are good. They are good. But if you give it an Excel, let's say you give a financial statement in a PDF, it tends to gloss over one or two cells. I'm not saying that it is inaccurate. It doesn't work
mhm,
for all cases. It doesn't work 100% on every cell very clearly. That's the problem right now. I think that there are many people working on improving that precision. But as of today, specifically surrounding tables and cells, if you have a lot of dense content, it tends to go over. Summaries, all these tools do very well. If you say, read this PDF and give me a short summary, or give me something, even in a detailed summary, or give me a lesson, give me a tutorial lesson out of this PDF, it will do a good job. But if you're actually specifically asking for very specifics at cell level, word level, there are
mhm.
there are situations where it glosses over the detail. It just skips it. But if you give the same in a markdown, it's of it missing are very few, very little. Because it's very close
Okay.
to text. Because markdown is as good as like very close to being text. It doesn't miss anything. Like even for a very simple problem is word count. Word count, it does a very bad job in all the other formats compared to if you give it just plain text. If you just paste a plain piece of text and says count the words, it will do a very accurate job. If you attach a Word doc, or if you attach a PDF, or if you attach even Markdown, it will progressively start, reporting hallucinated numbers, not true numbers.
Yeah, with XLS, I didn't try, but
Yeah,
because for the project I'm just wondering for that if we are implementing this in our project management, then how will the outputs look like? Because those are probably .xls or .mpp project. So .mpp project is nothing but the replica
yeah,
of XLS. So I
yeah.
think if this is a not known issue, then
No, you just have to keep adding to the prompt to tighten it and say that I want you to look at every cell. Even though you say it, it will skip it, but you have to put some validation saying that right next to this column, add another column called validated, and you put a tick mark or you say yes or completed or whatever, and you force it to actually force it to fill that column, which forces it then to read the previous column completely. So you just have to
okay.
guide it that way. That's how I am dealing with it. I have a
Yeah.
financial sheet that I am struggling with. So this is what I have been doing. After every column, I ask it to introduce one validated column and I ask it to put validated there. And if it's pulling it from somewhere, I ask it to put the citation or the reference in that column next to it. And then after it is finished validating, and then if I feel comfortable, then I ask it to remove those columns.
So is it working fine with the XLS sheets that have formulas in it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Is
yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
but just that you have to
Not the
explicitly
basic
specify.
one, not the free versions, but those pro versions are doing better.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So, Bhaskar, one question on this one.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so when you are working on the Excel sheet, right? So like if you have like too much of data in that sheet,
yeah.
okay, how will the AI is helping in that one? Is it not hallucination, or it is not? Is it not like skipping some of the like
It does,
data
no?
in
Yeah,
there?
it does, which is why I force it to say if there are 10 columns in my Excel sheet, after
Mhm.
column one, I ask it to add one more blank column and then call it as, either a validation column or citation column. And I given the prompt I mentioned saying, please add one column after every column which is there in this Excel sheet. So my 10 column Excel becomes 20 columns. For column one, there is a validation column one, column two, there is a validation column two, and so on. So this, I put it in the prompt itself and say, please add one column. And you only mark it as validated or not validated by confirming to me. That gives me better confidence, eventually, that it has not skipped any cell. Prior to this, it was just doing all kinds of crazy things.
Yeah, I can second that because like I tried to work on the alarm reference that we were getting from the developer team. Okay, and after a particular point of time, it just used to not give any good result. Like if it has been able to read maybe like 400-500 lines, after that it will just skip on the things, and it does not
Yeah.
matter how much I was trying to make sure that it goes through everything, trying to force on but eventually it did not happen. So what I did, I just split the whole sheet into multiples, and then I tried. So it kind of worked there. So that was just a
Yeah.
workaround,
Yeah.
but yeah, it
Yeah.
created issues on there.
Yeah. So maybe the way this conversation is probably leaning towards Excel. I only gave it as an example, but
Mhm.
even in large pieces of text, these AI models are tuned to read large amounts of text and summarize them. That is one of their biggest use cases.
Yeah.
Everywhere you say too long, couldn't read, it will summarize it very nicely. But if you're asking it very, very pointed questions, line by line, page by page, you say on page 35, if it is, it will go to that page and it will read for you and then it will reply. But if you just say, give it a large PDF manual and then ask it some specific questions at random, there are a few it won't answer. That's because it glossed over those. So you need to basically add a little bit more tightness to the prompt. And
Yeah.
I have also been taught by another person saying that if you don't know to write prompts, you give it an initial prompt and you ask the AI itself to say, how can you make it tighter? And then you review the tightened prompt. And if it feels okay to you, you keep those clauses. If it's way too tight, you remove those clauses. And then you take the refined prompt and you start with that as your the base for your next time. So yeah, so this is what I have been taught, saying that if you don't know prompt engineering, it's okay. You start with some little bit, that minimum that you know, but you ask AI itself to help you refine it. And if it generates a very complicated prompt, you can also ask it and say simplify it. So you can adjust it to the level that finally you will have a prompt which you and I could not have come up with, but AI itself will give you a prompt. And if it's not comprehensible to you, you can go back and say please simplify it, and it does that also.
So then it all boils down to what you have envisioned and how you can what kind of result that you want and how well you can visualize that result, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah. But like they were saying, right? Most companies have templates, and so the template itself becomes a guide. So you are even whether it's you or AI, you are saying you have to stick to this template, and you have to generate content or fill in content within this template. So let's say it's a very long file, long document, and there's a template. You have to put in some additional clauses and say, make sure these sections are not skipped, make sure these sections are not glossed over, and then or you have to split the document and say you work on this portion, then you work on the next portion. And so you have to break
Yeah.
it down and give it. Yeah.
Thank you, Bhaskar sir, for adding all those
Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
For prompt engineering, I have also read somewhere that is the one of the most in demand skill which die very fast because uh, ChatGPT or any AI tool will give you very good prompt. Ask them to give them your prompt, or they will give you the prompt.
Correct.
You don't need to uh, learn prompt,
Correct.
right? So I have read it somewhere. So, or you
That's
can.
also true, sir. Yeah, that is true. That is true. It can do a better job than your me,
That is the skill
but
which die before it's come in the market today.
no, but there is one basic thing that I have experienced also, and I have my senior has taught me also here, which is three parts a prompt must have. The first part is like you have to address the GPT to take assume a certain role or a context. Like, so for example, if you wanted to do technical writing, your first of the prompt should say, you're an expert technical writer. You understand the Microsoft style of, Microsoft MSTP, and you have expertise in this domain name. You have to give that. If you give that, it seems the internal parameters of that AI adjust itself, and it takes a certain path, and it spits out slightly more intelligent output compared to just blindly saying, write me a tutorial for this or write me a document for this template. So that person, they calling it as that persona. So that first portion seems to be a very crucial thing. It seems it reduces the bills that these companies are paying to ChatGPT on a monthly basis, because it narrows down the path that the AI takes. Once you say, you are basically saying limit yourself to only this, like being an expert technical writer with MSTP. You are not saying, like, you are an expert in the whole world, which apparently it starts generating all kinds of tokens and finally produces a bill that companies are struggling to pay at the end of the month. So in both ways, I mean, it gives you more refined answers if you initially tell it who it is. So you have to say, hey Bhagwan, you are my God, all that. You have to say, you are the expert in technical writing, you are good at STP, now you start. The second part apparently is this, the background or the context you give, saying that you have been given these initial drafts, this document, this thing. Then you give the task finally and say, this is the template, you please fill it. So this three is what they have been teaching me in this job where I work. Yeah.
Perfect. I will
Ask her
take
one.
1 minute. Yeah, Amit, go ahead.
So sorry, Rahul sir. But ask me one thing. Okay. I used to get one very weird issue in when I was trying to create documentation through AI, is that every now and then it was using this word via. Okay, despite
Hmm.
me telling it clearly not to use it.
Yeah.
Okay, in maybe in the first iteration it will not. In the second iteration, again for the same thing, it will again
Yeah.
use it
Yeah. Yeah.
despite me
Mhm.
clearly telling it not to use certain words. I created a list of the words and I
Yeah.
supplied it to it, but still
Yeah.
kept using it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that has been the case
Yeah.
with you also.
Yeah, that happens every day. So there are two things to do. One is you have to use a new chat. No matter what you stand upside down, it will do those things if you are continuing the same chat session. So if you are continuing in the same chat session, it has a lot of cached context. So even if you tell it, please brainwash yourself and clean your mind, don't do this, all that, it won't listen. The only time it will listen is if that model has been trained fully by let's say the ChatGPT people themselves, or you create a new GPT in ChatGPT. You create a GPT, custom GPT, and
Yeah.
you teach it saying these are bad words. Via is a bad word, don't use. Only then it will change its model. Otherwise, you have to use new chat. You have to use a new chat, and in the new chat, you can, if you again give it instructions, it will follow for some days. Okay, again, like me, it will go back to bad habits. So after some 10 chat sessions, I mean 10 chat conversations between you and me, it'll again go back to the whatever it likes, whether it likes VR. So in these cases, your prompt, you have to say at the end, there is a validation section you need to add in the prompt, and then say what is tabooed. You should say, I will not accept this article if you use VIA, or if you use British spellings, or if you use American spellings, or if you use, contractions, whatever you don't want or whatever you don't like, you can put it in a validation at the end, and you can say, mark your task as failed. If you have done any of these things, you consider this thing failed, go back and relook at your document and regenerate. You have to put that at the end.
Okay. Okay. This
Yeah, so
constant.
you
Okay.
have to
I
give
can I can
it.
try on that one. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
the
yeah.
yeah. So what I used to do basically, okay, I was not using the chats. I just created my own custom GTP, and I
Hmm.
kept using the same one, because what happens is that as much as I'm giving it the this thing and the
Yeah.
inputs and getting the output from that, it is learning from that one, and it is creating a memory from that one. And the next time when I'm asking for something, so it uses the background information and gives me the results. So it is more like that I kept training it, but still I wasn't able to get rid of this particular via issue.
Got it.
Mm, yeah.
Okay, so with the interest of time, uh, what I'm feeling is still none of you sitting here, around 20 people, are using ChatGPT for day-to-day work. Right? It's like none of you is being replaced by ChatGPT. However, we see it as a potential who will be working along with us, right, in very near future. But as a part of engineering team, because I'm not a part of a technical writing team, I can say this is not the case for technical writing. This is the case for everywhere. Like be a tester, developer. So don't think like testing technical writer will be impacted. It is not like that. And only IT world will be impacted. Again, that is not the case, right? I have a doctor friend. He was very much worried, right? He's a physician, right? And he lives in a very small town, Sitamarhi, like from where I belong. He said, Rahul, my market is very sensitive, price sensitive, right? So if ChatGPT start giving advice, right, and giving the right medication, right, on the basis of report, so मेरे पास कोई नहीं आएगा, no one will come to me, right? So he was again worried. Same with the lawyer also, same with the CAs also. So the only thing we can do, we can gear up for it, right? And that is the whole idea. And thank you, Rini, for waking me up for this thing. So, but we will have to, what I understand today, we don't have a structured thing, right? How our discussions should go on. So that's the first kickoff day, and that is fine. So we will, next 2, 3 sessions will be something random. Then we will figure it out. Right now, I'm trying to gauge like which company is actually doing, documentation with any proper AI tool.
I can mention few because I am in touch with them.
Right. So I will talk.
Razorpay is doing.
Really,
Razorpay is doing.
really, I will come back to you. Right. Offline, I will talk. Then I will try to make people from them because that will take time. Then even I would like to good people from Google or all those things. Razorpay, okay. Razorpay वाली, I know that director. क्या नाम है उसका? Forget that lady. Right. So we can.
Shriparna.
Shiparna, right. Right. So she can. Yeah, I can call her also. All right, so we have to figure it out and we have to see what we need to learn and what we have to unlearn. All right, so all those things. But right now, I don't think anybody need to panic. What you are doing good. That is my understanding till now. But keep eyes open. Read every day some article every day at least half an hour. Follow good people. Coursera is very pioneer in sorry AI. I will say I start using for ChatGPT. So follow some course from Coursera. Do some courses, right? Do keep learning on AI. What is going on in AI world? That is the most important thing. And rather than ignoring it, keep doing it. But right now, I don't think you have need to any panic button to press any panic button. So Jyoti, you said like you are using, right, Jyoti? Or anybody learn anything like which you think to, worth sharing? Please DM me so that next session we can incorporate that. Jyoti, you there? So okay. Ashima, Ashima,
Hi, Rahul.
do you use in synopsis?
So in Synopsys, there are internal tools again because most of the information that's IP content, obviously. So they have internal tools and all where uh, they've actually developed some of very nice tools. One of them is a writer's assistant where, we just, the input is whatever functional specification or anything like that we get from the engineers. And this writer's assistant creates the first draft, pretty much like ChatGPT or something like that would do. Uh, so so people have, obviously there's a separate team and they have developed these agents and LLM models and all what that are doing all of this work. So there are two levels. One is they developing their tools, and one is what we do at our level. So one way that I can say, at least for the freshers or the junior people who are here, one way is that there's a lot of domain knowledge that one needs to pick up in everyday work. So let's say there is something that one needs to understand or learn. Talking to ChatGPT, asking questions in the audio mode, of course. When I go to the office, I'm driving. That is what I do lots of times. Just ask questions, chat GPT or any other tool replies, and then I keep having a conversation about a concept that I need to learn in my own domain. That is one way it is very, very effective. And when I then have to work on a document, it is obviously very, very useful. I'm already prepared. I have a good knowledge of the concept. That's one way it can be used. Then, of course, there are tools, that give us that can be helpful in meetings, to be able to get to the meeting notes and things like that. That is something that everybody would know, of course. This is again from new users who do not use AI in their organizations. This is one very good way that it can be used. Then there is another very good thing that people around me have been using. Let's say there is a knowledge base, and which is pretty vast. Now there is content that has gone obsolete. We know some features that have gone obsolete. People have been using AI to, even if they don't know Python and all, they've been using AI to come up with code to be able to report obsolete features or that kind of content wherever it may be available in the knowledge base. And that is how they keep it current. Uh, and I know people around me who just come up with that kind of program, those kind of programs or that kind of code in just a matter of 1 or 2 days, without having any knowledge of Python. So that's a very good use, that people are doing. Similarly with duplicate content, let's say, which is a pain area. They've just been developing programs to find out duplicate content and then reporting it or working on it. These are some of the uses in everyday work life that we've been doing at Synopsys. Um, there are yeah, this is what I can think of right now. What else? Yeah, then other things like everybody talks about automation today, automating everyday tasks in whatever way one can do. So I see that just with the help of a few prompts here and there, people are coming up with programs or Python programs and all to automate tasks. Let's say they want to a file name is very long and they want to make it short. They're just using AI to come up with a Python program to actually make the reduce the file length, the length of that file name. Those kind of things are there. So small tasks everywhere where automation is required, all one needs to do is ask AI, uh, Copilot or Claude or these kind of things that this is what I need, and give me a what kind of whatever programs to that I can use in my everyday task, and then they are going about it.
Hmm. So same level, almost every organization is, but most of the organization, I think 99% of organization are like in exploring mode, right? So that's
Yes, people are experimenting right now, and yeah.
So I don't know about you, but I have done one experiment on myself using Chat GPT, and that is to lose weight. Right. So what Bhaskar said right now, I have used that. I've asked Chat GPT to behave like a best endocrinologist and a best dietitian. And before that, I was with one dietitian, and I was thinking to renew that. Right. I was using Fitter app. So then I thought like let me use ChatGPT, and from 1st of December I'm using it. Today is 14th. So that day my weight was 103 kg. Today morning my weight was 93.4 kg. Right. So it is very
Oh,
high.
very nice.
I lose 10 kg in 2 months with using proper ChatGPT. Right. Initial ChatGPT was rude. Then I said him, no, don't be rude. Be humble with me. Right. So I give all the details because from Fitter I was aware like what details I have to give. So I uploaded my reports, my blood report, whatever reports, right? So complete report I have given to ChatGPT. So based on that, It's giving me, and the best part is dietitian used to give me for a week diet plan. It's adjust my diet plan with every meal. Like suppose I took my dinner or well, my lunch, then suppose my lunch is heavy, then it will adjust my dinner, right? So I'm using it really very good way, and I'm liking it, right? So I don't know what technical letter, but for sure, one dietitian job it has taken, right? Or one client, one dietitian has lost for sure, right? But I'm saying it is going to impact everyone. Right? Now it's a uh, uh, endocrinologist and a dietitian. I even said you have to behave as a both right way, right? So, right, it's getting a good input. Okay. So, do we want other session? I think the last of this month, like twice in a month, I am thinking. Right. So we will come up. This time I'll get very less time to organize or to adjust what need to be discussed. So next time, I think Bhaskar sir, Reni, Shima, all, Hemant, everyone can give me good suggestions, right? How to structure it and how to take this community forward because I want to create a separate community for AI apart from technical writing, right? So that we all are ready for that and to take this storm. Okay. इससे पहले agile आया था so right so that I remember it doesn't impact right automation was there so I have a video I think more than 5 year old there I'm talking about automation I said like if you don't automate your work someone else will automate your work right so automation was always there and I still am looking AI as an automation but it is not just automation it is something very serious which we need to see right? It's a unknown world, right? We have to be prepared, and we all are together. Then nothing will impact you. Don't worry, right? So that's the whole idea. So is it fine for everyone? Like, do you see value today? And good value is also in networking. Send each other LinkedIn request and help each other. That's my goal always. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how we will, and you also prepare if you have learned something, so try to present in the next session, right? So try to explore. That's what I'm saying. What we have to do, we all have to explore AI. That's AI is nothing to keep aside from technical writing, right? AI is a general thing. So learn AI, right? So learn prompt engineering, learn whatever the small things like. So keep aside to learn AI that time. What Asima also suggested, learn your domain, right? So I always said like if you're a technical writer, stop being technical writer and try to become a product expert. So that is how we can add more values. Okay. So anyone have to say anything? Anybody want to add something? Juhi, anyone? Aditi, Araman, Jyoti. No? Then let's wrap up. Okay, so next date, right now, tentatively, I can suggest is 28 of Feb, right? At the same time, we will try to catch up. I will keep on sending the details, right? And I will share the recording also. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you
everybody.
so
Bye.
much.
Bye.